Okay, Hank, so this is your engine. I'm just about to start cleaning it, but before I actually start putting these parts in here in the ultrasonic cleaner, I want to do a quick demonstration of this LA's Totally Awesome cleaner. Now, you can see this is a very caramel up looking connecting rod, and actually this spot is where I already did a demonstration for myself. So I'm going to use this side of the connecting rod. What I've got here is, believe it or not, that's LA's Totally Awesome cleaner that I've already used to clean parts for another engine, not this engine. But this will suffice. It's not yellow anymore, but it still has good working power. So here's a clean Q-tip. I'm going to dunk it in there, and then I'm just going to set it on this part, the connecting rod, and then just start doing this, very gently rubbing it. See how it cleans that up? Now, I'm not really a spokesman for LA's Totally Awesome cleaner, but maybe I should be. Look at how that just cleaned that connecting rod up completely. That's exactly what I expect to see happen to these parts. This is actually about the worst part. But this is what I would anticipate seeing happen. All of this little carbon buildup will be completely eliminated from these parts after they get out of the LA's Totally Awesome bath. So let me get that set up, and we'll get some parts in there and start cleaning some parts. Okay, so I've got my LA's Totally Awesome cleaner, 1/3 part that, and then 2 large cups of very hot water. So that's all I'm going to do is just mix that, start putting these parts in here. I haven't turned the agitation on yet. You'll see this, it's got the carbon residue on that exhaust side. Here's our timing gear, timing case cover. There's that connecting rod that I've already cleaned a couple little spots off of. Let's see here. Oh yes. Take this gasket off of here. Here's our back case cover, or back plate. There are valves in there and miscellaneous other small parts I'll drop in there. The piston, I hope to see that look almost as clean as the top of this thing when it comes out of there. Throw these valve covers in there. They don't really need it, but we put them in there anyway. Rocker arms. It's really all that's needed to go in there. Maybe I'll throw this exhaust in there just for the heck of it. It's really pretty clean anyway, but that's all I'm going to put in this batch. So let me get the lid on here and start that, and then I'll show you what these parts look like when we're done with the cycle. Just finished one cycle, so I just want to take a quick look at some of these parts real quick and see how many more cycles I'm going to need. So here's the back plate, completely clean. So the back plate is done. Let's set that aside. Rocker arm cover had a little bit of gunk in there. It's completely clean. Set that aside. Let's look at this piston. Top, which was always pretty clean. Inside, completely clean. That's done. We'll pat that dry. Set that aside. Now let's look at our crankcase. Here's the crankcase. Most of that is clean. There's still some stuff in the front here. I may just end up putting it back in here and then just using a toothbrush on it. There's still a little bit of stuff in there too. So that'll go for another round. But a lot of these little parts like that were clean. Let me see if I can fish out that connecting rod. Here's the connecting rod. Perfectly clean. That's done. The crankshaft I actually kind of forgot to put in there until the end. So I'm going to put that in again. The head didn't come as clean as I hoped. I'm going to get a toothbrush, an old toothbrush, put this back in there, and then scrub a little bit on it. If you recall from the first video, I was saying I couldn't get that gasket off. Well, there's that gasket, it just came off. So the LA's Totally Awesome Cleaner is great for getting gaskets out too. Again, this exhaust was already pretty clean. I don't think it did much more to that. So I'm going to turn this thing back on. Wait, let's look at this timing gear. Timing gears looks good. I can just wipe the rest of that residue off. Let's turn this back on for a couple more minutes, and oh, here's that timing case cover. That's clean. That's done. Let me fire this up for a couple more, one more cycle, and then we'll probably be done. Okay, I just dried these parts off and kind of oiled most of the critical parts down. So I just want to do a real quick show and tell. You guys saw what these parts looked like before they went in the cleaner. And here they are. Sure, I had to do a little bit of brushing on a couple of the parts. This head I had to do a lot of brushing on. And if you look real close, I still was not able to get all of that in there. I mean, this head looks, at 2 feet, it looks a lot better than it did. But I'm not going to spend the rest of my night trying to clean every little creek and crevice in that thing. This looks fantastic to me. That back plate, which was a very good caramel color, there you go. Connecting rod looks like it just came out of the package. So that's about it. The piston, the top always looked good. Now look what it looks like. I didn't brush in this at all. I simply just dropped that in there and let the agitator do its thing there. Crankshaft looks nice. So basically the bottom line is this LA's Totally Awesome Cleaner coupled with an ultrasonic cleaner really does save a lot of time and effort. I used to just scrub all these parts by hand with a toothbrush. I don't do that anymore. Now I'm going to start using this cleaner. I bought the cleaner, the ultrasonic cleaner I'm referring to, and I'm going to use it. I also just use a bunch of old toothbrushes, and we've been buying these battery operated toothbrushes for several years now. I usually get rid of mine before the battery's dead, so this even has the vibrating action on it too. This is what I was using to try and get in there, and I had this submerged in the cleaner, and you could see the bubbles forming from just the bristle action too, and I still wasn't able to get all that stuff out. But you know, this engine doesn't have to look perfect. It's going to look pretty damn good, and it's going to run pretty damn good. So the next time you see this engine, it'll be fully assembled and hopefully on the stand running.